and I forward your calls. I don't play that shit. I'd rather not be involved. Cause I ain't sharing you with nobody else. Baby, if I can have you to myself. Oh. Hey. Go in the room and close the door, please. Thank you. Give me a minute. Go in the room and close the door. You don't need to talk. Just do what I said. Okay. Collect the eye. What's that? Welcome to Room Therapy. All right, real quick. So I want to try out this new deck. I'm not the most comfortable with it. I try to do, a lot with like the imagery and just kind of seeing how the message flows. I want to develop my skills. Okay. All right, so I kind of had already channeled. I was already kind of doing one reading, and the message was about, it started off with the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak and all of that, but then it went on, and it kind of showed somebody who had heartbreak in the past. They've worked through most of it. They're kind of still in a bit of a restless energy. This is the person that knows how to heal. So once you know how to heal, you kind of know that you might heal from one thing, but then it seems like a lot of the time something comes right up after it. Sometimes creating more of like the Nine of Swords energy, which is like restless and sleepless nights. So by the end of the spread, though, it talked about really just focusing on what makes you feel good, which I feel like all of us can relate when you talk about self-care. A lot of the times when you're in recovery from a traumatic situation or you're healing from something that happened, you kind of need a recovery period. But I think as mothers, as women, as husbands, fathers, things of that nature, first thing we want to do is go from one bag to the next. Can I fix this thing? Now I need to get back into the groove and figure out what's next for me and all of that without actually having a downtime or rest period. A rest period, okay, where we are able to reflect on who we are at our core, who we genuinely are, before we try to rush ahead with something else. Because one of the issues with rushing is you get into this, which also came out, the Seven of Cups energy, where you just have all these options. And it's kind of, in this sense, it's like your brain is like, okay, well, we can do this. Well, I can also do this, and I know how to do this too. So what am I supposed to do? And that can take you from one stage of grief to another if you're not careful, because you're kind of rushing along without actually letting the recovery period do its thing. Okay, everybody needs a recovery period, and one of the best ways to keep yourself on track and to keep yourself moving forward is self-care. Self-care can be whatever you determine it to be. Y'all want me to tell y'all a secret? Oh, such a secret. Okay, so most of the time when I get out the shower, if I'm not going outside or showing my legs, I put lotion on my hands, my face, my feet, my elbows. The spots. Here, head, shoulders, etc. But I was listening to a reader, and she was like, giving yourself that extra time is really going to help you realize that you're worth the things that you want. Because for me, I got 2 young kids, so having time to myself to spend an hour every time I go in the bathroom, or a couple times a week to actually spend that time in there, I don't get to do that often, so I'm almost rushing by default. Okay, my kids have me on a schedule that says move, bitch, when I say so. Okay, so to take my power back, I don't care what's happening. When I get out the tub or I get out the shower, I moisturize my entire body. Okay, it's a tricky discipline, which I talked about in a previous video. It's a way to guarantee that I'm giving myself self-love, even when things outside of me try to prioritize themselves. My 2-year-old don't know nothing about self-care. She's not doing this on purpose, but if it's up to her, I won't take one bath in peace. My 11-year-old too. I won't take one bath in peace if I don't make myself retrain them that when mommy goes in the bathroom, I'm going to, not only am I going to take my time, but you're not going to bother me, and making sure that I create those good habits even to pass out to them. When I get out, I make sure I moisturize and I take my time and I don't rush, and they can wait. So it's that, it's kind of like, it's not like a downtime. You should be kind of preparing yourself for what's next, but don't overstimulate your mind, because you have space to now. You've got rid of a lot of things, and now you have space and room to kind of fill your cup with new things. But we're so used to being overstimulated, we don't even realize that when we actually do get a break, that we'll just recreate being overstimulated. We'll do it to ourselves. So that's kind of what that reading was about, is making sure you give yourself time to even figure out what you want to do. Don't feel rushed unless it's like an emergency to just fill your cup with anything, with any pretty thing, even when you're thinking about, because this was more career based, even when you're thinking about like, okay, I left one job, now I want to get another job. Well, what do you want to do? The first thing we say is, well, shit, I need my bills paid, so I'll do almost anything. And that's not really how we supposed to move. I know it's hard and it's tough because the bills come once a month. I promise you, I get it. But when given the opportunity to rest and recover, you don't want to just take anything. You got to think up until this point, unless you've had a direct path to your career, knowing exactly what you want, you've been doing the same thing for ever, then really we just taking the jobs that pay us good enough to do the kind of stuff that we want to do in our day-to-day, but that doesn't necessarily fulfill us. So when something is taken away from you, you're not supposed to rush to just refill your cup with the next best thing or the next thing that's glittering, which is typically a paycheck that will make you feel good enough for you to just accept it. But in this case, the individual that I'm looking for, they have multiple options. They have all kind of things that look appealing to them. And so there was kind of this sense of rushing to, like, whichever cup happens first, whichever one happens first, that's the one. And that could take you right back into like a grief situation, because if something doesn't happen in the time frame that you expect it to, whether it's because you got this education and you think it's a hands down guarantee that you're going to win, or if you got all this experience and you think all of these things that you think make you valuable to the outside world, you're waiting on that to come. And when it doesn't come in the time you think you do, now you think you've done something wrong. You think you failed. Oh my God, nothing's happening as when I'm supposed to. And it's all me. And what am I supposed to be doing? And that's when the 8 of Swords came out. And now you're kind of just like in this self-imposed prison because you rushed forward instead of taking the time to just be, and recover. So I think it's about us really identifying our rest periods properly and doing what we can to make sure that we are maximizing what feels like rest and rejuvenation and self-care in that time. Because the only way for you to attract the things that feel good to you, that are for you, is to feel good within yourself. So self-care, I can't tell y'all how. And so I used to use I've used cocoa butter. I love Palmer's cocoa butter lotion or whatever. But sometimes I just want to switch it up. So I would use other lotions, and even like body butters and stuff like that, I never really liked them for long. But I started using the baby oil gel, which I know has been out forever. Okay, but I started using it on myself, and I'm like, I feel so smooth. So that led to a whole different positive sensation when I can just the difference. Okay, so if your leg is ashy and you rub your leg, it's soft. If you have soft skin, you got soft skin, but smooth is a completely different sensation. So now I feel like my body is smooth, and that makes me feel luxurious. I'm a Taurus, okay, so I'm all about the luxury, okay? So now I'm like, I feel luxurious when I'm just walking through the house in fucking sweatpants and Mitch Mac socks, okay, with a bun. I'm like, that's that feeling of the endorphins release, and that feeling of even if it's a sexual satisfaction, a feeling of like, ooh, this just, whatever the fuck kind of good feeling you get out of the things that bring you self-care, all of that is what you need to attract the things that are for you. What else? um yeah, what else? What else? Oh, ha. Okay, so I didn't take feng shui serious. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. The two of cups in reverse, two of voices in reverse. um this is not really knowing how to do a lot of self-care, not knowing how to give and take in love, um and self-care being one of the things that's going to help balance that out. Because again, if we mistreat ourselves or don't treat ourselves as valuable as we are, then the people around us are going to treat us accordingly. They're going to treat us good when they feel good, and they're going to treat us bad when they feel bad. How they treat us is going to be based off them. So it's important for us to treat ourselves in the ways that we want other people to treat us, right? So another thing I did, my counter, I have like, I don't know, like the wraparound counter with the bar and one whole thing. And so that counter, I can show you. I can't show you right now. Is normally filled with stuff, all kind of stuff I leave, stuff the kids leave, stuff my partner leave, all of that. And so it always, it dawns on me to try to keep that clean, and then like a couple days ago, like right before New Year's, I'm like, you know what, I really just want to rearrange everything because I want it to be something that I can decorate. I can't add decorations where there's clutter. So I just like got rid of everything. I was over there, rearranged my kitchen, moved a bunch of stuff around. I moved my cabinets around, all kind of shit. And now my counter has been clean for almost maybe like 4 or 5 days now. And I immediately felt clearer, I guess, in my own energy. Like a lot of times when it's time for me to do my oldest daughter hair, she got a lot of hair. So I kind of, even though I like doing it and I like styling it, the idea of having to go through the wash and the detangle and the blow drying and the braid and all that, I know it's going to take a while. So I don't dread it, but I don't look forward to it, right? But once I cleaned off my counter, just looking to that side of my room and not seeing a bunch of clutter on my counter, it was so easy for me to wash her hair, detangle it, start the braids, all of that. I literally enjoyed it from the beginning to the end. So that feng shui thing is like, it's really big, but for me, it helped, the relationship that I have with doing my daughter's hair when I have to wash it and like start from scratch and like, get to the finished product. Okay. These things that we do in the recovery period, in our time of rest, are really preparing us to accept what is actually meant for us in our career and our finances, you know what I'm saying, in our relationships. But what we all make the mistake of doing is trying to rush to the next thing, so we don't really get to sit in the glory or in the win. When you let go of a toxic situation and you start to heal it, or you healed it, that's a win. And instead of us sitting and basking in it, taking long, luxurious baths and shit, we just fill our brain back up with, oh my God, I gotta do the next thing. What am I gonna do next? What am I gonna be? Why? Because we worry about what people think about us. We're worried about what our parents gonna say, what our friends gonna say. We just worry because you gotta think, if we never had to care or be involved with other people's opinions of us, we would all probably be doing something different. Okay, well, not all of us. A lot of us will be doing things different. So this is really about, standing on your own voice, your own self-identity, your own idea of self-care and self-love, and not being overly caught up in what everybody else has determined to be valuable. Okay. Really separating yourself from the expectations that others have put on you in terms of like societal norms. Okay. I really only pulled 2 cards because I don't know, the cards kind of, I enjoy them. I just like to pull them out because it's fun to see if like the download that I got is gonna come out in the cards so that I can show you guys. But other than that, I really don't be needing them. But I do like them. So let's see if we get another one. Let us see if we get another one. Also, if you would like a personal reading, taking donations right now while I get through some of my newer decks. If you like a reading, you can get at me through my LinkedIn on Instagram, which the link is below to, I believe, LinkedIn and Instagram. But if you prefer to email me directly, the email is also below. Aromatherapy1111@gmail.com. Again, for now, the readings are donation only. Okay, I do have a different service that's not donation only. If you're interested in that spiritual guidance, also email me at aromatherapy1111@gmail.com. All right, Spirit, is there any other messages? Got a couple popped out. All right, what's on the bottom of the deck? The Muse of Inspiration. This is like being this is knowing what you want to do and allowing the universe to use you in a new way. A lot of fire energy, as you can see here in the cards, very much willing to walk down this new road. Okay. See how they kind of, the women in the picture, they're kind of looking at each other and they got their hand to the back as if to say, nothing before me is going to stop where I'm going this time. I'm about to go get my Tyler. I don't know if y'all can hear her banging on the door. But yeah, nothing behind me is going to keep me from going forward. We out. I'm taking this road. Them little people back there doing. Probably some little people back there in the back, some gossiping, some people talking, wondering what's going on. Well, what is she doing? Well, why does she think she can do it? Because I'm the Muse. I've been told the universe to use me. Now I'm actually showing up for it. Okay, that's at the bottom of the day. All right, then we got what? The Empress. Ooh. Y'all know the Empress is all about birthing and creativity and all of that. All of those things can be what is discovered while you are in rest and recovery. Okay. The Death card and the Seven of Inspiration. Okay. This need to control and always be in control, those things are leaving. The options, having the options and this idea that you need to be busy in order to be happy. You're learning otherwise. You're learning that you can be happy simply by taking the time to take a bath and then moisturize. You're learning all the things that actually make you happy that aren't tied to finances or career, and nurturing them. Okay. And what's birthed from that is the desire and the ability to do this, to move forward with confidence and creative joy, really. All right, y'all. I just wanted to, I haven't done a video in a while. I'm going to get back on here. I know I need to be doing them all the time. I'm coming, y'all. I was the Seven of Cups. There's so many options and so many things and so many directions. But here I am. Okay. I'm going to do what it do, baby. All right. Well, I just wanted to check in and tell y'all moisturize. Take your time when you're taking your baths. What else? Oh my God. Okay. Before I go, let's see if one more card come out. Okay. So, clutter, y'all. I'm telling you, bro. having clutter around you really does not help when you are trying to have clear thoughts, creative thoughts, and things like that. Like, and I don't mean clutter like if you're a painter and it's paint all over. I'm not talking about that. I mean like, you know, if you work from home and you can see your kitchen from your desk, if the counter is junky or the kitchen is not clean, that makes you feel some kind of way. I rearranged my entire bathroom because I just didn't want one thing on the counter that was always on the counter because it just took up space. It wasn't messy. It kind of matched the decor and everything, but in my mind, it just was taking up too much space. And even now, I figured out how to rearrange that, how to put the basket up, and now my bathroom counter is clear. And I'm like, you know, another thing, when you start talking about value, I ain't gonna tell you how much I pay in rent, how much he paid in rent, how much we pay in rent, right? I'm not going, but it's plenty. I'm not even getting the total value of what we're paying for because I got a bunch of shit covering up what I'm actually paying for. So I got like the big air fryer and all that stuff. Half the things that I have to cook with, I don't pull out because there was always too much stuff on the counter. It drove me crazy to add one more thing. And now I'm like, oh my God, I can use the things that I've actually spent my money on because I've made room. Same thing in my bathroom. I rearranged my drawers and all of that. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I had this face thing that, you know, cleans your face for you. I forgot I had this razor. I forgot I had this because it's just in the clutter. And to me, that's what wasting money feels like. When I'm buying something and it gets lost in the shuffle and then I'll find it later and I done spent $20, $30 on like a facial cleanser that I forgot I even bought. Okay, because I came home, threw it in a drawer and it made its way to the back. So that's another thing, clearing out cluttered spaces. There is a show on YouTube. I don't know if not YouTube, on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on there, where the Asian lady is going around helping people clean out their houses. Basically, it's not a show about hoarding. It's not like the hoarder show, but it's just people who like, you know, just have too much stuff. And, you know, she said something, she was like, if you haven't used it in 6 months, you don't need it. And I was just felt like, oh, Lord. You know how much shit I ain't touched in 6 months? I could get rid of half the shit in here. And I didn't right away because, of course, I had like some separation anxiety when I started thinking about my favorite t-shirts and all these things that I bought that I may not have even worn. I didn't get rid of new stuff, but still, I'm like, damn, I probably could go through a lot of drawers and closets and cabinets and see something that I haven't used in 6 months that I can get rid of. So I just never forgot that. So when I got back to, you know, rearranging my kitchen and rearranging my bathroom, it was like, oh yeah, anything that I haven't used in 6 months, I need to put everything. If it don't fit, we will quit. Okay, it's gotta go. I got rid of old towels, just bath towels that I've had for years. I tell my daughter all the time, you know, the universe will give you new stuff, but you're not going to get the value of it because you won't let go of the old stuff. I tell her if she don't let go of old stuff, she's not going to get new stuff. But I feel like it's the same thing for us. If I got something in the space where the new belongs, the new is on hold until the old is gone. So, you know, clear out your closets, clear out your drawers, clear off your countertops, bro. Clear off your countertops. And watch how much better. Y'all don't even know. Okay, so I cleared off the countertop in the kitchen. It's been 10 times easier to keep the entire house clean. I don't know why. All of a sudden. But I do know why. Because everybody is now paying attention to the fact that I want and plan to fully enforce keeping that counter clean. So in their mind, it's like, okay, well, if mom went to counter clean, then she probably is caring about all the stuff that has a better place to be, right? So everybody has just become more mindful of what they put up there. And now I have to remind my 11-year-old, like, get your iPad, get your lunch bag. Like, I have to do that. And I, you know, at first I was a little like, and then I'm like, okay, it's going to take them a minute to adjust, but I'm not turning back. So get it. I'm not changing. Get that shit off my counter, okay? And I can look around now and just be like, yeah, it feels better. It feels better. You'll be surprised at how much of your creativity is being stifled because your space is cluttered. All right, so we got an awakening, which I believe 20 is temperance. That is balancing out what you got, your information, everything, really identifying, you know, what you know. Taking time and taking stock of what you've learned. You can't do that if you always rushing forward with the chariot. You just gone like a free spirit. I'm just gone. Like, hold on. What have you learned? Okay, here's the thing too. So you can go through like your healing journey and get awakenings and all that kind of stuff, right? But if you don't take the time to really sit with what you learned, it's easy to make the same mistake over again. And it's also easy to think like, oh, cool, I got it. I've taken care of that. And then when it happened again, you'd be all mad. But if you took the time to realize and sit in what actually happened, then you'll realize not only is it going to happen again, but how to avoid it happening to you. Like, it's like studying, taking a test, but then you still got the final exam at the end of the quarter. Like, you still got to remember all the shit you learned. You can't just jump forward and like kind of just, whoa, God, thank God that's over. And then like leave it in the past. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Because like I've said before, we got so many relationships that are connected to us that ain't got no business to. You're going to have a lot of this stuff you're going to have to do multiple times in multiple, environments, home, work, with family, with your relationship, with your kids. All of this, it don't normally just affect one area of your life. When it's time to heal and you got your stuff that's going on. Well, I think that's enough for today. I wasn't really expecting to talk to y'all in my apron, but I was cooking. And I just, I know I need to share more because I got plenty. I'll be trying to make myself overthinking like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should, again, with the 7 of Cup energy, like, you should try this, you should try that. And it's like, you really just need to get on there. You really just need to do it. That's what you really need to do. Stop thinking about it, which is another, 8 of Swords vibe is I'm standing there stuck in thinking and not actually doing anything. Like, I don't think the universe is mad that we realize we have options. Sometimes you just got to pick one though. Pick one and go with it, So yeah. Let me do an oracle card and then I'm gonna get up out of here. I know it wasn't a whole big spread because let me see. Oh, okay, I'll do this one. Alrighty. Oh, my Light Seers, that's my favorite deck, right? And what's sitting up here pretty at the bottom of the deck, which I didn't even realize, was the Fool card, saying yes, go ahead, take a step. You can take a step forward. Okay, but don't overwhelm yourself trying to bounce all the way back. Because I ain't gonna hold you up. When you heal, you don't bounce back. It's always you moved forward, you bounced forward, bounced up. I gotta find something clever to say. You know what to do. Trust your inner knowledge and accept it without delay. Archangel Uriel. Okay, so with the 7 of Cups and the 8 of Swords or whatever, it's so hard to only do what makes you happy. That's why we fill our cups with a bunch of frivolous shit, like jobs we hate, friendships we barely tolerate, like, half-ass self-care in the name of like having to rush. Like, God is like, exactly what to do. Only do what makes you happy. I'm not saying quit your job, but if your job don't make you happy, gotta give you a job to make you happy. What you gonna let go of to get it? Because again, if you gotta make room. But yeah, if your counter need to be cleaned off, get up and clean it right now. If you got bath towels in your closet that's been there for 10 years that you could turn, they can go from the bathroom closet to the garage or to like the mud room or the trunk of the car, so that when you go through the car wash, now you got something to dry your car with. Like, I ain't saying throw your stuff away, but you need to clear out your space. I'm surprised that card didn't come in because it's definitely in here. Let's see if clear out your space come in here, because I know for a fact. I've pulled clear out your space plenty of times, and I'll just do something like clean my room and donate to like the Goodwill. But I do that all the time. I think I was like, yeah, not really what I was talking about, but sure, it counts, but that's not. I'm talking about the other space, all the spaces. Clear out all of the spaces. Okay? Don't trick yourself. Don't give yourself a bunch of options to trick yourself or play yourself out of doing what makes you happy. Ooh, don't do that. Don't do that. All right, one more, please. Please, one more, please. One more, please. One more. I see it. What's that? Nurture. Self-care. What'd I say? Self-love, self-care. I said it. You heard me, right? Okay. Archangel Gabriel, as you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So nurturing your children helps nurture your inner child. Okay, that's crazy, bro. I will not take my 2-year-old a bath and not moisturize her body every single time. That's why I got the baby oil gel, because of her. She don't get out the tub and I just throw her pajamas on her. I'll fucking lotion her ankles and send her to bed. No, I'm talking head to toe. Her baths be longer than mine. And that's good, but it's like, how she deserve it? She just got here. She ain't paid one bill. She don't even carry the groceries in the house yet. So practicing nurturing things with your kids and prioritizing your kids' emotional health and their physical health and their well-being, by doing it for them, you're being shown how you can do it for yourself. A lot of times it's the same thing. Whatever you do for your kids, self-care is what you should be doing for yourself. It's like people who want their kids to eat vegetables, but they don't. Okay. This thing where we get mad, do what I say and not as I do. I had to stop saying that. Because I'm like, no, bitch. You do what you say. It's all leading by example. I can't lead by talk alone. I cannot lead my 11-year-old by talk alone. She's like, bitch, that ain't what I saw you do. I saw you do this. I heard you say this, but what I see your body doing and what my body is going to do is what you're doing. So I stopped saying it. I start saying, like, I know you see me do it, but you don't have the amount of experience I have in doing what you see me do. So do what I say and not what the fuck I do. Okay? We're talking about like taking food out the oven. Like, what did she tell me she did? She cut into a fish stick while it was in the oven. I'm like, where on the directions does it tell you to open the oven door and stick a knife inside the oven to check to see if it's done? Didn't it just say cook on 8 minutes on this side and then flip them and cook on, like, why are you making your own direction? Because that's what she see me do. That's how she see me check real chicken. So that's how she want to do her fish sticks. And I'm like, bro, do what the directions say. Do what I said. Don't do what I do. We have to identify that with our kids sometimes. These kids are smart as hell because we were smart as hell. I knew damn well my mom was telling me to do shit that she wasn't doing. And it wasn't nothing bad, but it's just like I had to work real hard to do that. Like, okay, this is how I see you doing it. And even now, a lot of the shit I do, the manners, I got that shit from my mom. You would tell me, you need to do it like this, girl. I saw you do this for 30 years. Don't tell me to do something different. But I digress. All right, I just wanted to check in with y'all. I love y'all. Like I said, aromatherapy 1111 at Gmail for your free reading with a donation. Or if you want a spiritual guidance session, which it will include the cards, but it's not a tarot reading. Okay. I don't need the cards to tell you the truth. I don't need them to tell you. I like them because they're fun, and I like the creative thing it does with my brain when I'm trying to like read the cards themselves and use the pictures and the symbols to like connect the dots. And it's pretty. They're pretty. So that's why I like them. But other than that, the spiritual guidance ones, they're probably always going to be longer than like the tarot readings because it can get deep when I'm like able to share certain experiences and proofs and things like that. It also, notes are a good idea to have when I'm doing like the spiritually guided messages. So again, if you need anything from me, then you can either find me on Instagram. I got my LinkedIn stuff in my header. Or you can just email me directly at aromatherapy1111@gmail.com. Listen to my podcast. Okay, they are on here. This is only for people who want to be healed. If you don't want to be healed, don't. Just don't. Don't waste. Don't waste your time. Okay, don't waste your time. I'm not. I can tell you if you're in a toxic relationship, but I'm not about to be like trying to read into no drama, because it's all about the self. It's all about your actions and how you end up in situations that are, not to your highest good. So I'm very much leading you to the self work, not the work that's going to take you, you're going to go home and like start fighting with your boyfriend. We're not doing that. And that's why the spiritually guided messages are longer than the tarot readings, because I have to get into like, no, don't do that. Stop saying that. You need to actually start saying this. You need to like very specific instructions, whereas the tarot is just kind of like, this is what's going on. This is what spirit is saying you should do. This is how you can handle it. But with the spiritually guided messages, those are like extremely specific to what you have going on in your life presently. Whereas, of course, the tarot readings, it's more of a collective. It's something everybody is going to benefit from. But if you call me like, yeah, he do X, Y, Z, and I'm going to be like, okay, so we're going to address that very specifically. Yeah. So there is a difference. But yeah, let me know. I hope y'all found this helpful and entertaining and helpful. And I say entertaining because I'm trying to talk that shit. But anyway, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all soon, sooner than later. Bye.